Very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Uh, Before we start, just wanted to again introduce about the tracks that are going to get organized and delivered in this room for the next 2 to 3 hours. They are focused on the line of business solutions and how you go about trying to address it using IBM Lotus suite of social as well as web experience solutions. So that would be the focus of the tracks that would be performed and delivered in this particular room. So to begin with, we are going to try and discuss about IBM solutions for the next generation workplace. So when we say the workplace, that's what these are the different avenues where within an organization, when we try and start working with the company along our peers, employees, as well as colleagues, what are all the different systems that we interact with and how exactly these are transforming moving forward and a certain more details about it. So before I start off, I just wanted to try and get you a brief introduction about myself. I am Adarsh Nama. I'm part of the IBM software group and I work with the Lotus division as part of the software group. The Lotus division has been with IBM for about 15 years now and a much bigger history with this organization, purely focusing on subjects around what you're trying to hear, the very theme being social and driving a social business. This has been the fundamental and foundational philosophy of this particular brand. And today we are going to try and, as I discussed, look at how certain of these solutions can be engaged within the organization to try and have the solutions delivered for the next generation workplace requirements. So as part of it, it will not be purely what our point of view is. We also have one of our esteemed customers here, the Federal Bank Limited, which is based out of South India. They have engaged our technologies over the last 1.5 years and deployed solutions for their internal requirements, and they have their experiences to try and share with you today to try and let you know what has been their experience and how they have been using these solutions from IBM to meet their requirements within the organization. So quickly on the topic about exceptional work experience. Work experience, as I was trying to tell you, in the day in the life where we try and connect to our colleagues, work with our enterprise, and then try and collaborate within the organization. These involve various facets which start all the way at a basic level from an email system to a calendaring system to your intranet and definitive set of enterprise applications which span across your organization. So what are the different trends that are influencing this workplace of the future? And where do these trends originate from and what influence do they have on the workplace of the future would be the topic that I would like to try and share with you in the first 5 to 10 minutes, following which I would try and get you an introduction to what are those solutions from IBM product family where we have to address these evolving requirements. And at the last, we'll have Mr. Sarang Joseph, who is a senior IT manager with Federal Bank. He will come and try and share Federal Bank's experience in engaging these IBM products for transforming their internal work experience requirements and then try and deliver a new age intranet for their organization. So to begin with, this is a phenomenon that we are noticing very often, and it's not very often, it's become omnipresent now that people are communicating and building relationships in very new ways. It's an accepted fact. Just about 10 years back, we wouldn't have known that, okay, it was impossible unless we would have met some person that, okay, we would have known him, or unless introduced over a phone through some of our acquaintance, we would have known him. But today, with the power of internet, we practically go about trying to connect to all these individuals using these virtual networks, which so strongly bond us and bring in relationships as well as ways of communications, which are so different and unique from the conventional human networking patterns. Now, what are these new communication methods as well as the ways to try and establish relationships making a difference for an organization. Now, IBM has been emphasizing about the need for a smarter planet. We have had a wealth of natural resources, a wealth of human-created resources which are available today, and we have been exploiting it for generations together till now. Over the last 2 years, the broad theme that IBM has been getting into the marketplace and how we would like to influence we would like to better the planet was around trying to say that how we can make this planet more smarter by engaging the same set of resources rather than trying to go and look for more and more out in the environment there. So as part of the Smarter Planet initiative, one of those things which we are trying to actively look at is how do we do our work smartly? So that's what we call it as a smarter work theme. And as part of it, what we are noticing is there is a huge social transformation. Proceeding from what we just discussed right now, the new ways in which people are collaborating as well as networking and establishing relationships, these are creating a fundamental shift in the way the social dynamics happen within the business environment as well as within the consumer world environment. So if you try and look into the customer side of it, there's a lot of customer activity which is happening on all these particular digital platforms today, which has created a new avenue for trying to capture the customer feedback as well as a forum for the customers to try and exchange views and thoughts. Very often you would have noticed that there are so many e-businesses which are available today which could try and deliver simple services like e-bill presentment payment, what we try and do in terms of our electricity, telephone, as well as some other utility bill payments. Moving forward to online businesses where we try and go and shop for air tickets, we try and shop for movie tickets, we try and shop for books, as well as a whole lot of other retail consumables that we try and buy. Now, whenever we go out to try and look into these, the consumers are actually not just going and buying there, but they're also establishing their feedback there to try and say, and they're also trying to establish a conversation there with other consumers to try and understand how good are these products or services which are being sold and delivered online. And in turn, that conversation is trying to create a net effect on the brand of those particular organizations which are delivering these services. The second dimension, people who compete in a particular sphere of services or products or delivery, they are trying to include their customers, their business partners, and also try and synthesize what is the feedback from the customers for them to generate a new product. Hitherto, companies were just thinking internally through their R&D teams alone to try and say what should be the new products, what should be the services. Now they are crowdsourcing this to try and say how all the new products should evolve. So the end consumer as well as the partners or the channels who are involved in trying to take their products and services to the end consumers, they're all being collectively included into the process of thinking about how new products are to be developed or how new services are to be developed and delivered. Now the third dimension of it, employees. Now within the organization, many of you would have noticed that, okay, if you are into functions such as HR or if you are into functions such as marketing, these departments have actively started using social media either for trying to look out for new recruits or to try and look out for how do we try and make our presence felt in the most inexpensive way and do communicate to our customers where there is a huge amount of community activity happening. So marketing teams have started setting up about the company as well as information about what they have got to offer on consumer world social community sites such as Facebook, Twitter, etc. So these are very different ways and means in which the digital transformation is leading to a social transformation today in the real life. Now, for the last 10 years, IBM, apart from just being a product and services company, we engage a lot of our deep expertise in understanding these solutions to try and do some market intelligence and market research. So we go after and get into the different markets that we try and operate in and then do a study where we try and talk to the CEOs of various organizations and the LOB functions of those particular organizations to try and gather feedback about what do you think about the new challenges of the future, what do you think are the most critical among those challenges, and how do you think you are prepared to try and tackle or onboard yourself with those particular challenges and those changes which are happening in the marketplace? So the recent IBM CIO study says that organizations that evolve with this social transformation trend will outperform their competitors. That has been a unanimous feedback in the survey for the CIOs that we have undertaken in 2010. Now, a lot of these particular